I get called delusional a lot on this channel, which is funny because half the time it's coming from people who can't even spell it correctly. So I already don't put a lot of stock into those comments as it is, but if you're gonna try to read me and you can't even spell the sentence first, baby, open the schools. One thing you are not gonna get on this channel is a sanitized, yes queen, slay, flow of inner monologue from me. But what I am gonna give you is my own realness and authenticity. I do not follow the typical echo chamber of Drag Race where you hear a critique on the show and then you spit it back out for the audience. And I know that's really easy content to watch. I could sit here and regurgitate exactly what you already saw on Drag Race, and it'll be really easy for you to process and hear because you've already been primed to receive that information. I don't do that here. I'm not gonna regurgitate the same boring information you've already heard, while simultaneously recycling the same tired catchphrases that y'all have been using for the last decade, like choices, that so many people in this fandom are addicted to using. You're gonna get thought out opinions here, deviating from the norm. So if you've come to get an insightful thought piece geared right towards your bias, don't. Because I look at everything as objectively as possible and I judge everything to the standards that I set for across the board. And I give well-detailed, well-articulated opinions on why I leaned that way. When I do videos like best looks of XYZ, I sit down and look at the entire wiki for that season and pull so many looks and literally cycle them down until I found 10 that I think were the best of the best. People who did the assignment correctly. People who knocked it out of the park and did something unique and different that we don't normally see. And just because your specific bias may have an aesthetic that you gravitate towards, does not mean that I'm gonna pull down her panties and blow a compliment up her butt. I'm gonna be objective and fair in all of my assessments. And I do that across the board, even in my reviews. When I do AU videos, I sit down for literal hours scripting out things to make sure that everything is concise and well thought of and that I can present accurately and correctly to y'all. And in my reviews, I put in the exact same amount of work. And I'm super aware that the average attention span is about 25% of my videos. I look at my analytics and I see what y'all are responding to. Some of you watch the entire thing from start to finish, but the bulk of people that are watching are very likely just skipping forward until they find the parts that they liked. And that's fine. I understand that's a part of this job. But if you come into my comments and get feisty about something I said, and I know that you didn't listen to everything, I'm gonna get fierce back in the comments. My business with the Drag Race fandom's addiction to unhappiness is not going to be my problem. And there are these immediate 1 or 2 word reactionary comments to something that I said without listening to the full paragraph. And I know it's hard to hold on to attention span, but I believe in your greatness to do that. I am here to entertain as best as I can, but I'm also here to set strict boundaries on what I will tolerate as a creator. I'm making videos for people with media literacy who can hear what I'm saying and not hear different words. But unintentionally Cocomelon brain people are going to click into these videos. And I'm not legally required to be kind to anyone who has been mean to me. So if someone clicks into a video and calls me delusional for having an opinion that is outside of the general RuPaul's Drag Race rubric, I just want to remind you that I don't go to anyone's job, slap the hot dog out of their hand and tell them to go back to selling paint. Don't come into my place of work and tell me how to do my job correctly. And if I'm called delusional, then I simply must pop off. And conversely, if you treat me with kindness, I will treat you with kindness.